Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
Got one.
And as I've
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is the MVP Morning Mix.
My Veteran Passion is a 501c3 federally recognized nonprofit designed to help the community's mental health through physical fitness and virtual gatherings to aid veterans in transition to their local communities and prevent veteran suicide. The views expressed by individuals are individual ideas. MVP does not condone the use of sexist, racist, or discriminatory statements or remarks. This is an adult conversation.
I can just do this, right? And it doesn't go away. Bam.
Like exclamation mark stop.
I used to want to
Yes.
be a wide receiver.
You want me to do it?
But my legs ain't grow and my arms ain't either.
No, I got
On
it.
your way,
So when I
so
got-
it's cool. He's faster.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's all good. I put it on, so I apologize if it continue going.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, in this instance, it's great that you're faster.
At your raw, I knew you were gonna say something like that. I knew it. Oh, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is the MVP Morning Mix. Today we're gonna be talking about something that's always around us, and sometimes you don't know what's around you until you start understanding or learning about it. And you're like, oh, all right, cool. So this is kind of what it is, I think. You know what I mean? Today we're gonna be talking about the importance of mental health. Like, why is mental health important? You know, when it comes to like referring to your either psychological, physiological, and your overall, like right here, our social well-being, because we have to be aware of our social health as well. You know, like, are you being reclusive? Are you able to, socialize? You know, what's going on? That, we've talked about many things and some of the symptoms of like exhaustion and such. And, now that we can start identifying a little bit more with it, what was going on with us, because overall this is for us to get motivated during the day, understand our lives, start creating patterns, and most important of it all is just helping your community. How? It's up to you, but overall we have to understand what mental health is. Talk to me, Pooh. What's mental health? Oh, she's busy with her chat.
What's mental health to me?
See.
It is just the well-being of oneself in their own mind.
Okay. In your own mind, does
I like that.
what do you think about how your mind affects your physiology?
Huh?
So your mental health, do you
How does
think
your mind affect your body?
how does your mental health affect your physiology?
How does your mind affect your body?
How does your mental health, your mind is one thing, your mental health though, like when it's healthy or when it's not, your mind is your mind regardless.
You talking about like you want to know about like, thought patterns and stuff like that? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
looking at?
yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was asking if it was physical being. I was really confused for a second.
No, physiology is.
I'm not
Okay.
a scientist. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. I
The
can't think of
study of
the.
the physical being. I know ology means study of, and then physics. The study of physics. Got it.
So there's a lot of things that comes with your mental health, and the study of it, the psychology of it, when it comes to the physical part, it's like how does your mental health manifest into a physiological response, whether it be we're eating more, so we're gaining more weight, whether it be not wanting to work out or something like that, whether it be I don't want to eat because I just don't feel like eating anymore. That type of, you got to understand there's certain emotional responses that will create a physiological response.
For
You're
me,
right.
it's my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I think for each person it's different. Some
Yeah,
people their eating habits don't change. It's all mental for them.
yeah, okay. But like you said, there's something else, right? So what's for you if it's
Yeah.
not your eating habits?
Honestly, I would say that nothing anymore.
Good
My mental
morning,
health
Lisa.
is just my mental health. I don't do anything different anymore when it's like declining a little bit. It's really weird to say, but I have to say that I'm pretty good now. Nothing is affected, honestly. Like if I get sad, I get sad. I've got a lot of tools to make it so I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But
Did it affect you physically before you got
Uh,
healthy?
yes, but to both extremes.
what are those extremes?
Eating less or eating more.
Okay, but you said let's
It
let's
was never
let's
consistent.
let's like change the eating habit of being an example because you said other people are different. Cool. What is another example that your body expresses mental health concerns?
Acne.
Okay.
So you could get stress pimples.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That makes
one.
sense. Yeah. So your butt pimples. No, it's true. Some people
I like
manifest
how you
their
said that and then sipped the water like a boss.
no,
He stopped and he called himself out for a second there.
That
no.
face did it all. Put that
He's like,
carafe
these
right to them
boils
lips.
is really killing me. No, so like my aunt,
Mm-hmm.
she has a condition that gives her like boils and stuff all the time. So when she gets stressed, she gets more like they flare up in very uncomfortable places. So
Yeah, your skin is your biggest organ per se, right?
I don't feel like
So
she would appreciate you sharing that.
some people
you don't know who she is.
some people start sweating when
Just
they
saying.
get like mentally or they're anxious or whatever, mental health overall, right? You start sweating. Sometimes those pores clog, creating acne. No, that's true. Some people they get and nervous or whatever, they start sweating. I get that for sure. My
Some
hands
people just
start like
pass out and go to sleep.
hurting, like right here starts hurting for some reason, and my legs start hurting, and it's like, oh, what's going on? Like, why?
This
That's
could
how
not
I
be a
manifest
person.
it. I don't know, or like I get like anxious, or like to me, I sometimes like I call that anxiety excitement. I'm like, why am I excited? Like, what's going on? What am I thinking? I try not to use the word anxiety in my head anymore because you don't know if you're um it's when it comes to anxiety to me it's very foggy because I don't know if I'm excited or I'm afraid.
Anxiety just sounds like a bad word to
Oh
use.
yeah.
Like anxious
It really does.
usually makes a person feel excited, like, oh, I'm anxious for something. You say anxiety, a person's like, my butthole just puckered.
Yeah,
It was about to happen.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
it's a bad
excited.
word, but we
Yeah,
need to start breaking that also. Like, anxiety does come in two forms. It comes in a good form and then it comes in a bad form. And your body can react the same way to both.
but what does our body go to always? The bad stuff, right? Because we want to protect each other, you want to protect yourself, so we
Right.
have to think in our heads and actually pick, no, I'm excited, but why? And then you start seeing a change of like, honestly, to me, environment, it's like putting different glasses on. You know, if you
Are
put,
you saying look at the carafe half full?
it
Is
is
that
that
what you're trying
full.
to say?
Yeah, it's near full.
That even though that repo man may have drove off with the car, you could think to yourself, ain't got no car payment now. What? Let me tie my shoes up,
You know,
get
like
my exercise on.
now you got plenty of shoes. Go use them. You know. No, I'm joking,
I
but
ain't say all that. I might have one or two pair.
uh, yeah,
He
but
But
said use
yes,
the Hilto Express.
sometimes you just yeah, there you go. Heel toe express. What was it? The LPCs, leather personnel carriers. Sometimes you just gotta get out there and flip the script, though. I get what you're saying, Doc. Sometimes the best way to tackle something is to just try to rethink how what's happening. You're the only. What is it we've said before? And where's Poppy Vappy?
he's
Get
around.
get
He's
on
right
that
here.
camera, Poppy Vappy. I don't
What's up,
know. I don't
Conejito?
see him. I don't just because my camera not working don't mean you can just choose to just you bring me that face.
Well, it's the
'Cause
pot calling the kettle. Well, I'm not going to
don't
finish
be
that
this way.
sentence.
Oh,
Why
Yeah, I'm not going to
not?
finish that sentence in this.
Go ahead.
Why
Go
not?
ahead. I'll
No,
jump
it's
in the
fine.
boat with you. I'll be
No,
like,
it's okay.
yeah. No, I've been trying to turn my camera on. I'm just having technical difficulties right now. My stream had to even tell me that my sound wasn't coming through. They didn't hear Doc's voice in the intro.
User error.
You say everything you said in the first 5 minutes again.
Exactly as you said it too.
GLF out of here
Yes.
today, champ.
Run
I
it
don't know
back.
what that means, but I'll take
But
it as a
yes,
good thing.
sometimes like
No
Vop
booty
had pointed out
pimples,
before,
Alicia.
the best reaction you can have to things is that how you respond to things.
There's a word for that. It's called perspective.
We're not using SAT words today. Stop it. It's Monday. We're easing into this.
Everybody want to act like like we all smart or something. Like I appreciate it, but I promise you, I don't know what words.
Girl, you're smart.
Appreciate
Stop
it.
it.
I said
Appreciate
I
it.
said physiology. She freaked out on me. What are you talking about?
I didn't freak out. I was quite
A
calm.
little.
Yeah, one of the ways that I can
Mhm.
always tell like my mental health is struggling is I get like shorter tempered
Mhm.
or more frustrated easily, or like my partner will do something and I'm like, could you just not exist right now? Or I'll like explain in detail how Velcro works because I'm just like incredibly upset. And I'm like, yo, I need to decompress. And I've learned to express that out loud and be like, yo, I think I need like some time, or like let's not do anything for 24 hours.
Yeah. No, you're right. When we start going, something's going on in our head, we start thinking a lot, and sometimes we run scenarios, but in real life implications, the quality of a relationship might suffer because of something that's going on in your head, you know? What's up, Carito?
Hola, hola.
How
Good
you doing?
morning.
Good morning. Talking about mental health today. What is
I
it?
Like we don't talk about that every time. But
That
okay.
well, we talk about parts of it, right?
kind of the purpose.
I
Yeah,
think it's the big beast in
Kind of.
general.
but in generality, in the macro perspective of things, what fits into that category for you guys? Like, how does that for you express itself emotionally, physiologically, in your social group, at your work, in your relationships? I mean, what is the divorce rate for military and veterans? Just saying,
Then you
we're
add social
we're, we're
media
not
to the
we're not the
mix.
shiniest. We're not the shiniest example of what a good relationship is, and sometimes we have to admit that.
It depends on how you look at the carafe. I mean, I mean, you got to that. I mean, my relationship with the Marine Corps, even though it was kind of one sided, was pretty good. I mean, in the
Someone's
end, right now, I don't complain.
someone said something about if the Marine Corps wanted me to have a wife, they'd issue me one
They
or
would have
something like
issued me
that.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
Did
that's
you
why I
see
didn't
the
get married when I was in
mentality?
either.
But you see the
Mm,
mentality? Like
That's
there's
pretty funny though.
yeah, it's pretty funny because
I think it was
the
Major Payne
divorce
that said it.
rate, yeah.
eh,
Major paid?
eh, eh, eh.
The
You plotting on me,
pinky.
boy?
The age has a lot to do with it, bro. Too.
Age?
Like
Mhm.
you gotta understand, like a lot of us are like getting married at 18, not the smartest move. You know, like a lot of people that get married early in the military, like 18 to like 22.
We're young.
You're,
Yeah.
you're like you don't even know yourself yet. You know, you don't even know what you like yet. You're getting married. You're like BAH, bro. Now,
Mhm.
It's
I
crazy
always
to
said
figure it out.
if they made it as hard to get married as they do it is to get divorced, nobody would ever get married. Nobody never would be like, fuck that, I ain't doing all that. It
Honest
is
thought,
so
I
hard to get
You're not
divorced.
wrong.
Be
You-
I
smart.
recently had this thought. In fact, what if getting married was like a 5-year lease? What if you knew at 5 years you had to renew your vows with the person, or you could just be like, you know what, I don't like you anymore. No,
I'm
Your
gonna
Honor, I'm
opt
not
out.
signing
What
this.
about
Yeah.
what about
What if you
child
could opt
support?
out of marriage?
Before we can get married, both of you have to put $20,000 in this account. The judge has to see it and be like, all right, you guys put both money in there. All right, like,
Marriages would never
In
happen.
escrow.
I'm cool with that.
it would
Well,
never
there'd be
happen.
a lot less for poor people.
Yeah, but
Nobody would ever get married.
there's, yeah, there's a lot of implications. But we're not here to, you know,
Just saying,
change.
don't sign that lease.
Read the
Uh,
APR.
Just saying.
yeah. Now
Check
those
those percentages.
those people that have gone through a divorce, those people that are divorced, like try to give the advice of like, hey, think about it twice. Whereas like before, some people don't think about it twice. You know, love is a powerful, it's a powerful chemical. You know,
Can I just
well,
say, if marriage was made
How did
harder,
we get on
if
relationships?
marriage, because we were talking about it, if marriage was made hard for straight people as it was for gay people, I think everybody'd be fine.
what?
What?
It wasn't easily accessible,
better
and as
stop
soon as it
before
was,
they cancel you.
everybody got married, and then a year later they all got divorced, and now
yeah, there was a big article on it where like the states where they were, there was a rush of people getting married. And then, like a year and a half, 2 years later, or less, I think it was a rush of people getting divorced.
Everybody
and
wanted
Such
that
a good
marriage
idea.
tax.
A big
there was a
deal.
severe decline in gay marriages.
Everybody
But
wanted that
when
marriage
it comes
tax
to
credit, but no one had to pay it back when they got divorced.
when it comes to what is it? I think that's why there's a spirituality factor in it. Like you really gotta know yourself and who you are, and if you like the person for who they are, you know. I mean, a lot goes into it. You know, that's why you need to really think about it.
But it's how does
And
spirituality
I
tie
agree.
into that?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
because
think they're mutually exclusive.
with
No.
like no matter how you feel, I think that about any type of scripture or wisdom is gained by experience, and any scripture was written because of experience. So if you be here, like it's the same reason why our parents are like, wait, just wait, don't get married right away. Like there's a reason behind. We have wisdom about it, so they know what they're talking about. So all these books that were written thousands of years ago is from people that all were already there, and there it's not so much about like believing in a higher power. It's more like they've been there and they know the struggles they know, and so it gets passed down. So it's worth taking serious. Like when you pick somebody to spend the rest of your life with, it's serious. So you need to, that's the value behind it. But when we're young, especially in a culture where we're like, hey, you're 18, you're an adult now, you can do whatever you want. It's and I'm not saying that I got a solution for that, or because I don't see it as a problem either. I think that we all just we like as an adult to know who we are. I think that we really do have to have it all and then mess it all up to be able to appreciate it and then get to know ourselves. And then I think that a partner comes with that, and that even ties into mental health. I mean, because you know what you don't like you know how to take care of yourself.
When we were talking about having parameters, or when we get exhausted, or you know, when that basically you start learning your parameters, right? What you start doing, and as you go with that, um, you start doing things differently, right? Now, you're saying spirituality. How is that mutually exclusive, Bob?
I don't think they are, because I don't think you have to be spiritual to have a good relationship with the other person, because I mean, being spiritual adds its own sets of struggles in a relationship, especially if one person is and the other person isn't. So I don't think
Yeah.
it's mutually, in order to have a great relationship, you have to believe in some
Yeah,
higher power, be
it's
some sort of spiritual.
It's
Yeah,
great
and
to
I'm not
have that assimilation. Absolutely, it helps to
I
have
think to an
like
extent.
I mean, if someone believes in that, I'm sure
Like
that
I
helps
get,
them. But that wasn't the case for me and my wife.
Mhm.
and like
I
I get
think
what
every
Bob's saying when
relationship
it's a
has a
sense,
foundation.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
think that
the
it's
not
not so
the
much about the
foundation.
All right,
I think what
hold on,
Bob
everyone,
like
hold
Bob,
on. Go ahead, Bullet.
I think like what Vop is saying is like when it comes to the religion, if religion is your thing, I like okay, if I am a Buddhist, me getting married to uh someone who is Jewish isn't gonna work.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we may initially like each other, but if we never bring up religion, we're doomed to fail. That moment we sit down at dinner and go to pray. But like I get what Vop's saying when it's like I know two people who are atheists in their marriage to this day better than most people I know who who go to church who it's
Yeah,
not exclusive to the equation to make it work.
yeah. Go ahead, Plum. You had something to say too.
Yeah. No, I was exactly what Bula said. I said, yeah, I just think like part of your foundation. Everyone needs a foundation. And if that's like a mutually exclusive thing that you guys can build your relationship on, then it works for you. For some people, it can be video games. Some people, it can be running a nonprofit. Like it can be something different for everybody.
Running a nonprofit, what are you trying to say?
Making that
Doc
money.
and Dixon have an announcement to make at the
that,
internet.
Oh
I
my
told you to wait to Louisville.
god.
Gosh.
So
Sign me
Does
in the
this
flower
mean that
girl.
does
Get
this mean
hold
that me
of
and
these
Plum can
secrets.
finally be together? Plum, I love you.
I love you too.
Well,
Finally.
since we're
Oh
all
my
just crossing the
god.
bridge, John, there's
I
something
can't
I've been meaning to tell you. I still
I
got your
can't wait
genes
till
from
we have
before.
separate bedrooms.
All right, hold on. Before we
Right back
go,
with you.
before we go off topic, Conejito had something to say. Go ahead, Conejito.
Yeah, no, I just I wanted to clarify because it's not. I don't want to. I agree. Like it's not about like spirituality. It's not. When I meant by spirituality is think about the component that comes with scripture that is the wisdom behind it. So it's about experience. Like we, I think that a lot of most of us here have a lot of experience in life, and a lot of the decisions that we make are because of that experience. So I think for me, I was using the example of spirituality being like I follow it closely to me because it makes sense from an experience and wisdom standpoint. So when you apply the wisdom behind it, that's what I'm trying to communicate. I think that it's to make any life decision that's going to be a commitment, especially for life. Like we have to look at people that have done it already, and I feel like wisdom for me, the my wisdom that I pull from is a lot of it comes from spirituality, and I think that's like I think the spirituality is more, and it's not exactly per se religion, but it's more like a relationship with yourself and the external.
Yeah, spirituality, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yet again, I don't think wisdom and spirituality have to go hand in hand. There's plenty of people who have struggled and done things that have had amazing lives but haven't been religious
Good morning,
or
Jay.
spiritual.
Val
I
York.
mean,
Buenos dias, muchacho. Go ahead, brother.
yeah, I mean, you point to the scriptures as a good wisdom tool for you, which absolutely, if it works for you. But I yet again, I don't think it goes in a mutual hand in hand where you have to be some sort of spiritual to be wise.
There's a movie, The Love Guru. It said that the Bible, it was an acronym for basic instructions before leaving Earth. I thought it was the funniest thing ever, but it makes sense. I was like, oh, it's true because in the Bible, what they teach you is, yeah, kindness, humility, love. They put a lot of that in. Well, I'm talking about the movie. I don't want to make reference to any religion's book or whatever, right? Just the movie. And I thought it was funny. And so, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey,
What's up,
Rudder.
dog?
Chilling. How's work?
It's another day.
Right on, right on. We talking about mental health and why it's important and how it affects in many different places, right? Right now we went on a tangent in the quality of relationships, because in the military we're not the ones known for staying together for the longest time type of thing. And we find
Rudder's
different.
always driving, dog.
Yeah.
Bro,
Let's get this money, Rudder. Let's go, dog. Let's go.
bro, always.
You're the only other person that I know is always driving like me, dog. We're always on a fucking car. Like, we're always doing something on cars.
Conejo, we get
Drive a
it. You're
BMW,
sleeping
drive a
your
tractor
car.
trailer.
You're not the same.
I'm just missing that astounding beard.
Did he do his push-ups today? He seems a little excited.
Yes.
Oh God, here we
Blanca,
go. Back
I
take us
saw you
outside.
do those push-ups. That's the hard part.
Put us on the bumper, Conejo. We know how it goes.
Yeah. No, but that's part of mental health. Sometimes that helps out. Sometimes doing some push-ups, some physical fitness, whips your brain back up. Like, hey, let's try to stay in this and veer against depression or whatever we're feeling at the moment. You know what I mean? So the main point of all this conversation is like why mental health matters and the type of health that we can talk about when it comes to that emotional, that mental health, that like psychological, physiological, being fitness, being fitness. Now I'm stuck with that word because of poo, because I said it like 3 times and now I can't get it out of my mouth.
You almost called her plum again.
Sorry. I fix myself.
You guys are blessed with me and Plum's presence. So I mean, if you get us mixed up, it makes sense.
Well, you ain't lying, but okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but no, that's we gotta make sure that we're personally taking accountability for our own actions. There's a lot we can say about mental health, and a lot of us have gone through some things that are like, hey, yes, now I have to do this. I have to do this for me. I have to do this for my circle. I have to do this for my family. Runner, you mind muting if you don't mind?
Am I not muting? My bad.
You're good. You good. We got you, fam. There you go. Pulling a conejo on us, bro. Jesus. But
I'm not on my normal headset, so.
oh, okay. But Banca, how do you see mental health? I know that like we talked about many things with it and the spectrum of it, but to you, what is mental health?
Pass. Can I pass?
Next.
Yeah. Go
you
chat
can pass.
PT it and
Yeah.
then come back to it.
Next.
For sure. Anyone?
Maybe like your thoughts.
I think it's the way you phrased the question.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Can someone help me rephrase that?
What was the
Be
question?
honest, I don't even know what you said.
Doc, I know
the
what
original question again.
I know what you're saying, Doc. I mean, personally, I feel like mental health runs through everything in your life, and I am was not a believer in that. Should I say? I mean, when you first met me, I did not come to SSTs at all, and I know I got out of coming to them. I hit the morning mix when I can. So once I found out about it, because I was real active with the VP there for a while, and I had to step away. But like Plum said, like I'll sit there and me and Dixon will sit there and bullshit, and it's not even about nothing really. But Plum made it a point that even though I don't join the SST and I don't like to talk about shit, I talk to Matt and that gets it off my chest, whether it's directly or indirectly. She's much smarter than she likes to put on sometimes, and it makes me feel pretty damn dumb.
Now she can walk through the door. Good job.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, I feel like the mental health runs through every part of your life, whether you realize it or not, your day to day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. Even your physical health, like thinking about that now, like it makes you neglect like doing good things for yourself or taking care of yourself. It impacts you not just in your physical, but also your social circles, like shutting down and isolating. Like it impacts every part of your life. And it's a vicious cycle, right? Like you have mental health issues and you're up all night because you can't sleep, which just compounds, it even more with anxiety. And now you're just completely sleep deprived, which makes you even crazier. And it just keeps going and going. But I guess like breaking that cycle and having someone to talk to is the most important part. I personally think, like Rudder was saying. Like
Who
that
said
is
something
therapy.
similar in the chat too?
There you go.
Yeah. Anyways, like I was saying in the
Where's my
chat, pretty
reader?
much
Where's
is
my reader? There she is.
I
See, we
want
are like the same person.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, I got you. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, not physiological, whatever the fuck you said, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. But what I was gonna say, outside of reading that, is to also not put yourself in this box. I would say that there are wrong ways to deal with your mental health, but I wouldn't say that like isolation's a bad thing, right? So I've done like multitudes of different things, and that certain situations call for different reactions. So you might need to isolate depending on what the situation is to get back to more being like level-headed. You might need to be by yourself for that moment, you know what I mean? Or um for example, going through stages of grief, sometimes people need to be with others. Someone needs to be there to console them, right? So I think we need to remember that there's different, there's a cause and there's a reaction, and there's different answers to different things depending on the situation.
Yeah.
I think for me, like really thinking about it, because I wasn't ready to really like give it my own definition. But for me, I think it's about being brave enough to confront and understand yourself, like who you were, who you are, and who you could be.
Okay. Awesome. First time chatter, Notorious Gamer says, I feel like with mental health, you have to give a lot of credit for yourself to get through it. Like sometimes you can't fix the issue immediately, but just getting through it is an achievement. Thank you for that, Notorious. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely something that we have to give yourself credit for every little win because it's a war and you have to celebrate every single little battle that you win along the way. You have to make sure that you praise yourself first. Don't expect or anticipate someone else praising you because you're doing something. You got to do it for yourself. And every little time that you tell yourself, hey, good job, you got up. Hey, good job, you took a shower. Hey, good job. The little things, and there's different techniques and tactics that we talk about here on how to achieve certain things, like some tasks. I know some people have great ways to um, categorize things and stuff like that. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you, Notorious. Anyone else?
I've struggled with mental health for decades since I've been a kid. And I've tried a lot of different things, but the thing that helped me the thing that I had to come to realize was I had to want to change. I had to want to make my life better because you get so used to struggling that you you get used to it. Complacency kills. And I got so used to struggling till like I had enough of it. And I almost became part of the 22. And then I realized that, like with the pain of losing so many people, I didn't want to pass that along to anybody else. And I realized that I have to make that change. I have to do something different and I have to change my life to change my life. Sounds dumb. Sounds simple, but you have to want to change because if you don't want to change, you're just going to be like, well, like you'll just complain about it, but you won't do anything about it. You have to want to change your life. And as soon as you have that mentality, you'll change your life.
I agree with that. I think that is the hardest thing because people can complain about their mental health, they can complain about their situation, and they can come into places like this and stay stuck in those ruts that they're in forever because mental health, looking inward, it's not easy. It's the hardest part. The hardest part is getting out of it. And a lot of people just aren't ready to take those steps, and it's hard to force anybody when they're not ready. You can give them all the tools. They don't. They have to choose to use them.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him take a bath. Something like that.
Also, when it comes to mental health, it's your mental health. You can't force that upon somebody else. So like if you're if you're you want if you want to change and do stuff, you can't expect anybody else to do it for you. You can't. I know a lot of people want to, I don't know what different people call things, give lore about yourself or trauma dump, or give your backstory. But until, like, a lot of times that's not fair to the other person if they don't ask for it, and without you wanting to make a difference
Mhm.
and doing it, it's never it's not very fair to somebody else, and it's not. You have to take responsibility, even if it wasn't your fault for something. You still have to take responsibility of cleaning it up.
I feel that I have people that will start talking, and I don't fully listen because I know they're just going to be doing the same stuff the next month and the next month. I'm just not even wasting my time with those people. Keep saying what you're going to say. Like, you have to realize some people are there to actually like take your time and have you listen so that they can do the work and learn and grow, and some people just want to complain.
Absolutely.
Or they
Some
want
people just want to feel like someone's there.
they want to be
But they-
justified of their opinion
Yeah.
of like, why am
Yeah.
I right? And this is, and you listen to them and they want you to hear, yeah, you're right, or yeah, sure, yeah, and yeah, well, Doc said I'm right. Like, it's not about that. It's you. That's the biggest thing for all of us. It's your responsibility. It's your actions. It's your mental health. And that's going to suffer if you don't work on it. If people say, yeah, I keep my circle small. Sometimes it's not by choice. Sometimes you're doing it without knowing, you know? Um, it's it's sometimes talking to people through that wound, that mental health issue that, you know, um, someone talking to you, and all of a sudden you say, like, well, in boot camp, we didn't used to do that. You were out of boot camp 12 years ago. Like, come on. Like, we got to continue to grow. Like, it's great to reminisce, but there's a time and place. You don't always have to, you got to think about it. There's, we talked about earlier, intrusive thoughts or something like that. You're not supposed to say them all the time. But
Yeah, right. Like 50 years ago, we thought it was okay to put asbestos in places. All right. So like our track record of getting things right is not, don't refer to something that happened 20 years ago.
Mhm.
It's I'm trying to think of a way to say this. So I feel like those people haven't dealt with said trauma from 20 years ago, and sometimes it takes someone reminding them or telling them that they need to reflect on that and see, and specifically, why is it still a thing? Like, it's good to have those, like, yo, dude, when I was in boot camp, we used to blah blah blah, or yo, I
Roger
used to
that,
ride in a
Jade.
truck with no seatbelt. But whatever story you want to
Good
tell,
morning,
that's
Pandora.
fine. But if it's still affecting your life 20 years later, like, or however many years later, that's something that person needs to reflect on. And sometimes you need to just, like, ask them, like, why does that still bother you? Like,
That's a
if you
really good point.
if you spilt milk 10 years ago and you're like, man, this ruined my kitchen floor. It's like, well, why? Like, do you still have that place? Like, why did it affect you so much? And like, what could what can you do to try and um I don't like the term get over, because a lot of people find it offensive, but how can you grow? How can you learn to grow into a better version of yourself that isn't affected by said whatever they're complaining about? Respectfully.
Pooh, you've written a lot of stuff there. Can you talk to us about that? Because I can't read that fast.
Read it.
All right. So the first thing I posted was a website called honorconnor.org. and it's talking about what some of the physical symptoms are of mental health. So if you would like to read that on your own, please do.
Mhm.
So, and then the next thing I put in is like, mental health check-in stuff. It's just a poster that tells you, are you getting it? It's like stuff to ask yourself.
Mhm.
It's not even stuff to ask other people. It's stuff to ask yourself if you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, like we talked about last week. You know what I'm saying? So if you start feeling yourself getting overwhelmed, this is a great tool to use, how to check in with yourself. Even if you just take that and you write it down, because sometimes you're like, all right, write this down, and then read it back to yourself and be like, oh shit, okay. And then from there, you'll be able to deduce like what is the contributing factor to making you feel that way. Because sometimes you don't know until you like really deep dive yourself.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely correct. Legionnaire says, for mental health, healing is a journey. Every step forward is a display of immense strength. Your power is your perseverance. Also, the links and all that Pooh's dropping in here is in the MVP Discord in the Morning Mix chat. So you just click on the chat and you can see everything we've been talking about, and everyone saying good morning and all that, and great links that we're especially this image that Pooh posted. Can you tell us about that image, Pooh?
I did. That's what I just talked about.
Okay, cool.
The mental health check-in. They're
Yeah.
great questions to ask
I
yourself.
thought you were talking
Yeah.
about the website in itself.
Oh no. I was like, talking about that part.
Yeah, cool. And I just wanted to blow it up for those people in the chat so they can see it. Thank you, Pooh. I appreciate that. We all do. Now, question is for mental health. How does it, good and bad, how does it improve, or how does it affect your work, your work responsibility? What are some examples of good and bad on it?
I mean, your mental health, of course, can affect your work negatively if your mind is elsewhere rather than being on the task at hand. I mean, if you're a truck driver, for example, and you're worried about what's going on at home, I mean, are you fully focused on the road? Are you sitting there like constantly looking down at your phone, or, you know? I mean, the
Yeah.
the thought, as we've already pointed out, is where your mental is. That's the health aspect. When you wake up in the morning, do you say to yourself, "Ah, it's another day," like, or do you switch up, like, even if you feel like, "Oh, it's another day," do you wake up and like pop up on the side of your bed and say, "I got this. Let's get it. Let's get it." Like, are you that change, or do you just say, I'm gonna keep my blinds closed and stay in the dark? No one, no one out there cares. Or do you say, man, you know what? I'm feeling some sort of way. Let me hit up John real quick. John always lifts my spirits when I talk to him. Like, you have to make that consecutive choice to say, I'm not gonna be in the negative mind today. I'm going to have a positive outlook on whatever comes at me today.
I love that. Waking up and choosing the day you want to have, not letting the day choose what you're going to do. I like that.
Exactly. Like, I personally, and I have a lot of friends I've been saying it to. I used to be that person that, I can't wait till. Like, one day I just woke up and I decided, you know what? I hate saying I can't wait till. And I get it. I ain't got no time machine and I can't just. But the thought is, what are you doing to get to that goal? I can't wait till someday I can go to Disneyland. Well, you'll never go if you ain't actively putting money away, because these ticket prices go up every summer. So I'm just letting you know now. If you ain't got a change jar at home that's labeled Disney Fund, you'll never make it to your goal.
Yeah. Amen.
Change drawer. You ain't paying for no Disney ticket or no change drawer.
Yes,
Not
you are.
these
If you
days,
hit
bro.
if you hit Food Line
Nowadays,
and hit Coinstar,
Yeah.
there's a charge
this
for
man,
that.
he came
Yeah,
in with deep
absolutely.
barrels.
No,
Oh, it's so expensive now.
yeah,
Mhm.
¿Puedo contestar un poquito? You guys hear me?
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Sí, okay. So with let me close the door for the printer.
But it's best to see it of I can't
Mental
wait
healing.
instead of saying I can't wait and how do I get
Okay,
to
I was closing the door because
enjoy
the printer was
this or
up.
whatever,
But this
right? That's a better way to think about it. It's that perspective that we're talking about.
another way that I think that mental health it can affect you at work or anyone. Like there's also I think that I don't know if it's just like in the industry that I work at or just wherever it's been. I've learned to also grow a lot, and with the skills that I've learned and trying to improve myself, it has opened a way for like to maybe to like flip it and make something good out of it. For instance, at just examples like at work, I remember when I first started working where I work at right now, like one of the first things that I learned is my boss had like a area where she would have, things that the guys that work out in the field, blue collars, could really benefit from. And the first thing that I learned, I think, walking in is just how tough that work can really be, and it can really mess with people in the morning. So I think just me walking into a place and just acknowledging, maybe I wouldn't recognize it as mental health back when I first started, but how we flipped it, or I guess how mental health has affected me personally, and I guess a few of the coworkers that I'm in, is maybe it's affected us personally in such a way that now through that we learn to become more compassionate and understanding, and in a way, if anything, a little bit more ready to have resources and things available for if people help them. So not only does it make us better people, knowing that everyone's trying their best, like we're out here doing our best to really have the best life that we can possibly give ourselves. And it's good when that's out there and you see other people with the same thing, like whether they're being assholes or whatever, it's just like it's good for me at least to remember like they're trying their best. They have their own life, whatever it is. So I suppose, I mean, it's also affected me other ways where, like, the plan, I had to take an entire day off to just like lay down and be stupid depressive at bed and process whatever it is that I need to this. So, like, in that way, like, it affects a lot. Yes, it affects, but the question was, how does it affect? I feel like it also affects in a good way if we choose to. So, if we really work on ourselves, like, look at me right now. Like, I'm at work. I have Discord with MVP because it's good for mental health. Back here, there's like a lot of resources for mental health, and I'm in construction. Our work has nothing to do with mental health, but that's how it's affected us. So we've had also, people here that, it's suicide is also very common in the construction industry. So it helps us to provide, resources for me to be allowed to be attending groups like this for better knowledge for myself so that we can pass on that knowledge and resources to other people that could really benefit from it, not only myself. I think it's a great way how mental health has impacted us in the workplace. Hola, Pizza.
Yeah, I think that when we talk about mental health, and it would be good for us to think about three good things off the rip, right? But we always, like I said, negative things always come up in our head a little bit more, right? But yes, what do we do when we have a new job? You learn new skills, you learn new things. That's growth. Growth can be positive. But we always think about those negative things first, obviously, because they're more imprinting in our head, But we tend to forget the nice things, the good things, because um, we just do. That's our brain. So what she said was awesome. But she's also right when it comes to those hazard like environments in jobs. They have more mental issues, but because of the type of job, it's exhausting. Working out there in the sun all day, it'll get you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing it in Arizona for long periods of time. But what's another good thing? Go ahead, Pooh.
Read what you just posted. It's a
Yeah.
positive thing.
Yeah,
Read it.
I'm talking about mental health and like, why not talk? Like,
Read it,
I'm on
Church.
I'm on Carrito's wavelength
In
There you
of
English.
go.
it's not always a bad thing, like we have to identify the good things of mental health, right? So, I will read what I found. Gratitude, like faith, is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows, and the more power you have to use it on your behalf. If you do not practice gratefulness, its benefaction will go unnoticed, and your capacity to draw on its gifts will be diminished. To be grateful is to find blessings in everything. This is the most powerful attitude to adopt, for there are blessings in everything. Alan Cohen. So, like, one thing that I notice amongst people who are struggling with mental health is that you talk badly about yourself to yourself. And that's the most common thing ever. So, the best thing to do is one thing I started to do when I first moved here because my mental health was real bad is I took post-it notes. I think I mentioned this before. I took post-it notes and I put words of affirmation on there. Like letting myself know that I was worthy, I was loved. And I put it on my bathroom mirror because, that's one area I'll always be. So I'll see it every time I'm in there, taking a shower, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, you know what I mean? It was to remind myself to retrain my brain to think of the positive things. And then I catch myself doing this for other people. Homie was worried about an issue at work. He's like, "Dog, this is a terminable offense. Like, I'm gonna get fired." I'm like, "Dog." And you know what I did? I showed him how he wasn't going to get fired. I was like, "Remember that time somebody stole some soda and they still have a job here? You are fine. Remember that time that somebody fell asleep and they still got a job here? You are fine. So trust me, you will not get fired." And you're like, "Oh shit, see, this is why you my homie." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, like it's easier to dwell on the negative stuff. Why don't we try to look at the positive stuff?"
This is why I call Pooh for advice whenever I'm having a crisis.
Yeah, you gotta, the perspective has to change, and sometimes it's hard when you're in the eye of the issue. It's hard to see that.
Took lots of practice, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's definitely what we do. We try to help each other, motivate each other, and talking about perspectives is something that now I hope a lot of us practice a little bit more. It could help us in the long run. If I mean, attitude is everything. You know, and if it's something bad, still, if you have a good attitude, you know, it's not gonna suck as much. Whereas like if you already have a bad attitude about it and you still do it, like you got to see the good things in it, whatever the good thing it might be, whether it be you're gaining something, or it could be that someone else is gaining off of it for the betterment of whatever it is. You it's something that I don't know. We could all. It just to me, helping someone that can't help me, it just helps my soul, if that makes any sense. It makes me happy. It makes me happy that I know that I can help someone, not expecting anything back. You know, to me, that makes me happy.
Would even go as far as saying make sure you're not using that as a way to avoid your own issues.
Oh, I do
That
that a
is
lot.
something
Yeah,
that we
for
keep
sure.
thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, it's like, I'm gonna help this person, makes me feel good. Okay, cool. But when are you gonna stop and help yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I got lost in that
Can't
sauce.
pour from an empty cup.
Or carafe.
Carafe.
I'm telling you, there's a book, and I've said this before. How full is your bucket? It can't be super expensive, but it
Yep.
teaches you how you can't spend your time focusing on those bottom dwelling people, and you need to focus on the medium people, because the people in the middle will always give you at least 70 to 80%, because
Mm-hmm.
you'll pour into their bucket and they'll be sure to pour back into yours. But if you focus on the people that are not pouring into your bucket, you're gonna end up empty and broken.
Makes me think back to
Speak.
what was just said. In fact, like it's like you have to make that conscious choice. There are quote unquote friends in your life that are going to call you just to complain. And this time next year, they're going to call you again and complain about the same thing. Letting them complain can also negatively overfill your bucket, making it too much weight for you. Sometimes you just gotta tell people, "Hey, take that somewhere else. I don't want to hear no more. I
Yeah.
want to. What are you doing to change that?
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, well, take that to somebody else." Like when you start moving differently, you start changing everything around you differently. The people you converse with, the people you hang out with, your love, your time, when you prioritize you as number one, it really hits different when someone's like, "Oh, hey, how you been?" Yeah, I've been great. Uh, don't pop back up. Like, go back to where you were.
Man, that hits. That definitely hits.
They're called energy vampires. They're there to suck all the good out and then go away and then come back and do it again over and
my
over
God.
and over.
Have you ever watched
Cut it off,
uh
bro.
what's it called, that show?
What we do in the shadows? Yes.
Yes, the
Fucking
energy
love that shit.
vampire. When he gets
Yes.
a job, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck?
I'm like, yo, I work with people like that.
That reminds me of that time. Remember when I've told you guys that like there was like this little phase when somebody was just so like fed up with me that they called me Eeyore, and like it's always traumatized me like to this day, like not to be an Eeyore to people.
We'll still drag you along and have fun. Oh no, he's gonna try to get up here. See how this goes. Come on, buddy. You got this. Lay down.
Wishbone. That's what your
Look
dog
at
reminds
Doc.
me of.
He's like, oh no,
Wishbone.
he's trying to get up here as he puts him up here on the table.
That's
That part.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I once you get comfortable with the love that you need comes from yourself, um, you get a lot less. You don't have to reach. You don't have to look for other people to help fill your bucket or your cup or your carafe or whatever flower pot you're using. Like if you can love yourself and be your biggest supporter, like you don't necessarily need other people like to, I don't want to say lean on, but like cuz sometimes you do need somebody. You get exhausted and you just need like you need your circle. But once you get comfortable with being alone, yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
There's peace in solitude.
Yeah, if you can find peace in yourself, then it's life gets pretty good.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
absolutely.
John. We see
There's.
your hand up.
Go ahead, John. I mean, Jay.
So I know for me, when I think about mental health, I used to be one of those people that was like, yeah, mental health is just a scam to make people buy pills, kind of thing, because I didn't understand it. And it wasn't until I was diagnosed with like PTSD and depression and going through it myself that I was like, oh my God, this is real. Like, this is real. And I was so emotionally
Leaky! What's
uneducated
going
and
on, brother?
unintelligent that I had to
Welcome in.
learn a lot before I could even start getting better. And even because I couldn't even explain to the doctors really what was going on with me, like in my head. I didn't have the words for it. I was just, I was a mess, right? And so some of the things that I took away from that experience now that I'm in a better place is that if you are one of those people that thinks that mental health is just, whatever, you know, like sometimes you have to go through it yourself to understand the experience. And I don't think everybody can be made aware of mental health awareness. I think some people are going to be closed-minded. But overall, I think that if you give yourself time, like especially where you're at on your path and what was said earlier, like as I think Pooh said, like sometimes what you need in the moment is going to be different. Like sometimes you might need to isolate, other times you might need to talk to someone. give yourself that time and that grace to understand what you do need to make yourself better in the moment or overall. Like, be patient with yourself and don't beat yourself up over being sick, because those are some things that was wrong with me. I was really sick and I didn't know how to get better, and I was beating myself up for being sick, and I was in a dark place. And it wasn't, for me, it wasn't until I found people to be with that could be peers. I needed that peer support system, that network of friends. Once I found that, like, I started climbing out of that hole. That's what I needed the most. So, but I just want people to be, like, patient with with themselves and with other people, especially when they're going through something of a mental health crisis, because I didn't understand it, and then when I went through it, now it's like, to me, it's the biggest thing that I can understand is, like, mental health is the number one. Like that Sublime, what is that? Was it a Sublime song? They say working hard is great, but you got to take care of what's going on in your head. To paraphrase the song, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, thank you for that, Jay. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This is the MVP Morning Mix. We're going to go ahead and do it again on Wednesday. We're going to be closing out. Plum, do you have the... Yes, she does! She's awesome! So we have a raffle, a $10 gift raffle for those that are here, those that are joining us. Anyone that's streaming, please put any of your chat that was there with us, hanging out, and contributing to the conversation. Put them into the chat there so we can add them into the list. Let's see. Notorious. Thank you very much for that. Sergeant Thunderthighs.
Oh, you know what? I got a Notorious too in my Notorious GLW.
Hey, I don't know if I'm spelling that right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
As well as a smiley bad as. Two Z's, no S's.
Excuse yes.
Bless you.
Every day.
80s kid.
Yeah. Alicia Games. Is she already on there?
Yeah, she's there.
Might be already on there. All right. Chat. Anyone else want to go for that? On the spin of the wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn.
Leaky!
I was about to
Leaky,
say.
yeah.
I got him, man.
I legit was about to be like, yo, where's Leak?
Limp, am I not following you? I don't have you up. Where?
Shame on
Crazy.
Legion
Wow.
for Shadow.
It is.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Imagine
Yeah, imagine.
being in a room and not
Anybody
being followed.
else?
Going what?
Art
Pandora?
Art
Yeah,
money.
you got it, yeah.
Is he
Art
on there?
money.
Pooh? Pooh on there? Is Pooh on there? One more time, Pooh?
No.
3 more times, Pooh? I don't need to be on there. Don't put me on there.
I was gonna say you could take me off of there too. Yeah, I already won.
Yeah, I'll take
Pooh,
those
Pooh,
spots.
Pooh. Clever girl. I have not redeemed anything I've ever won. I just want you guys to know, except for the first 2 times when I joined MVP.
There's one that I
and
haven't
then
claimed
when
either.
she
I have a
She
JEO
redeemed it.
in my chat. I think you should add him on there.
Who is it?
Jay.
No,
He's being
just
he's just being
checking.
funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
that's okay,
Pooh redeemed
Pooh.
it. Sorry,
Go ahead. No, it's fine. No, it's just go ahead and bonk it.
No, everybody's been talking over Plum. Go Plum.
Spin it!
I was
Spin
just gonna
it!
say Pooh did redeem it one time, and they threw the box over her fence and got laundry soap all over her.
Oh my god, yeah, I really bought that
She
shit, so I'm
really
kinda like-
needs this one, guys.
Gotta be careful for that.
All right,
They
ready?
destroyed my shit.
Always ready!
3, 2, 1.
Go, go, go! How do you do that? Poof! That's right! No! Ah! Congratulations, Plum!
This shit is
Thank
big.
you. I never win. I feel like that good karma about the comment for poo just really paid off for me there.
It really did. It really, really
Good
did.
job, Plum.
I am going to. We've gotten away from it, but I am going to donate to the MVP Relief Fund.
Thank you.
That is an option whenever you win,
Gotten
and we
away
do
from
keep
it?
track. So
Well,
we
I've
just
never
haven't been
redeemed mine.
offering
Put them
it.
all in there.
Okay, I'll put them all in there.
I think
All
I've
the
won
ones
like
that I can remember.
I know
Two
mine's
extra
only
times.
one. I think maybe two.
I think 2 for me. So you put that bitch in there, and then when I need some relief, I'm gonna get that 2 back.
I think we're at like 500 or almost over 500. The last person was Shooter. He donated $25 from his 24 for 22 winning.
Oh, that's awesome.
Let's go.
Well, again, yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Really appreciate y'all. Thank you for motivating one another and continue to be a part of our circle here in order to help one another be better. So, we'll be doing it again on Wednesday. Anything else that we gotta mention? We have in what, about less than a month now? We're all gonna meet up in the Louisville. Go ahead, Banca.
It's 4 weeks exactly. I actually do have those ads that need to go out. I've been working on them. But it's 4 weeks exactly. I did put it in the chat. The RSVP, we're at 13 people. I believe Jade's joining today, which would make us more. So awesome. So hopefully she can make it out there.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
You never know who might just show up. It's
Ah,
crazy.
here we go. Here we go. Go ahead.
We already know
JC.
you're gonna be busy.
When's the next MVP Call of Duty Fight Night?
Dun, 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 dun.
That was
I don't know.
fun.
You have to join the Discord to find out.
Yep. Join the I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll find out. Maybe the next
We
24
just
for
gotta
22.
make sure Doc doesn't have his freaking hacks on anymore.
Hey, no one said no hacks on, all right? No. But yeah, I had to let Jay beat me because, it would be too sus if I didn't let him,
Lord. Oh,
It's
Lord.
crazy. It's crazy.
He's just making me look good for stream. Don't worry, y'all.
Jay.
That's why I'm streaming.
Maybe we'll get Rudder in there, get some OGs.
Hey, on
Bro,
on
I
a
haven't played
serious.
Call of Duty forever.
Go ahead, Vappy.
That's I'm cool.
Just say it.
On a kind of serious note, if you guys are religious or pray or whatever, a lot of towns were devastated out here in Oklahoma over the weekend. I'm also going to be getting a hold of the VFW in one of the towns and trying to do some work out there. So, and if they're struggling to figure something out, I'm going to be doing something myself out there. So,
What is that?
if anybody believes in that kind of stuff, thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that, Vappy. All right, y'all. We'll be heading out. We're going to go game, slay. We're going to go raid. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We'll see y'all Wednesday.
Yeah.
You guys
Later, y'all.
Love you, guys. Bless you. Take care.
Bye.
Wait, stop what you're doing right now and check this out.
Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service.